Stab it. Stab it. And action.
Hello, welcome back to Cocktails from the Cabinet with Nick from the Poisonous Cabinet. We're going to make some more lovely beverages for you today. So today we are going to have the Negroni. And you all know how much I love a Negroni, how much Sinead loves a Negroni as well, especially me with a recording. Recording Negronis are the way forward. So we can have one of those and a couple of variations and tell a bit of a story about how the Negroni came to be. So the story is that Count Emile Negroni in 1919 went into his favourite Italian bar and asked for his usual tipple, the Americano. Now, Americano in Italian just meaning in American style, was a variation of a long-standing Italian sort of aperitif, which was just a sweet vermouth, a red vermouth with a bitter Amaro. So things like your Campari or Aperol or many of the hundreds of other Amaros that are out there, all topped up with some soda water. And that was an Americano. So that is what we're going to make first. A nice long refreshing drink, the Americano. This one is really simple. You've got 3 ingredients. You've got red vermouth, Campari, soda water. That's it. So simple. I'm not going to shake it, and I'm just going to make it in the glass because it's nice and easy. So we have a lovely little highball type glass, nice long glass like that, in which I'm going to make 2. So because Sinead's lurking in a corner as well. So being weird and scary. So we're going to chuck some icicles in our lovely glass. Now look. Then we are going to have. What was that about?
I'm doing the hand thing in the mirror.
Oh, she's doing the hand thing in the mirror. I thought, there's something weird going on there. Right, classic red vermouth using martinis, because what I have. And we are going to start with 1.5 ounces of martini. Ooh, fresh bottle. That was very looking.
Satisfying though.
Indeed. So, getting me a lovely little jigger here. So, yeah, we're going to have 1.5 ounces of this. This one, my Japanese jigger is 1.5 ounces of the larger cone, so that's nice and simple. And we're going to go straight into our glass. Oh, and all over the table as well. Move those apart slightly. That didn't work. Then, next, we are going to go in with exactly the same quantity of Campari. So our lovely red Campari, which I will try not to spill all over the table this time. What are you laughing at over there?
It's just the tension. It's
Tension.
boring.
Oh, is it going to go everywhere? I won, it didn't.
No.
Then we're going to get our long spoon, the lovely long spoon, and give that all a nice good stir. Okay. And then simply we are going to top that up with some soda water. And there we have the Americano. It's our classic, nice, continuing a trend of nice, long, refreshing, summery drinks to be drunk on your magical floating veranda. I'm going to pass this one over to Sinead. Oh, I'm going to go that way, I've been told. That's what it looks like. See, it looks very pretty. So, yes, so Merry Christmas to a Negroni, so give that one a go. It's got the nice bitter twang of Campari in the background. Sinead's pulling faces at me over there. You've not had one of these before?
I think a very long time ago. I don't like it.
Don't like it.
I mean,
I think that's very pleasant. I would. I like a Negroni. I'm going to clear up my mess now. Back in a second. So that is the Americano. Very, very, very tasty drink. One Count Negroni's favourite American tipple. But on this particular day in 1919, he'd had a hell of a day. And he needed something with a bit more oomph behind it. A bit more zing to carry him into the evening. So he asked his bartender, Fosco Scoscarelli, to give him something with a bit more zip. So what Fosco did was got rid of the soda water, who needs that, and replaced it with gin. Giving us our classic 3-ingredient Negroni that I love today. And it picked up. It became a majorly popular thing, and people came into the bar asking for one of Count Negroni's drinks. And eventually the name just evolved into the Negroni. Now, that's the story behind it. If it's true or not, who can say? But it's a lovely, lovely story. So next we are going to make a Negroni. One of the ones that people ask a lot about, how do you make the Negroni? It's one of the simplest cocktails you can find. Again, I'm going to make it in the glass because it's that simple. It is gin, Campari, red vermouth, equal quantities of each. About an ounce of each is perfect. If I'm feeling particularly crazy, I might go for an ounce and a half, but then I will be very drunk. We're going to start off this time with a tumbler. A nice tumbler with a big chunky bit of ice. Big chunky cube of ice in there to keep the dilution down to a minimum. You have lots of smaller cubes, it's going to dilute much quicker. A big chunky piece is going to keep it nice and cold, but keep the potency of your booze. So we are going to start with gin. Because I'm not feeling too crazy, I'm going to go with an ounce of gin. An ounce of that. And then an ounce of Campari. And an ounce of our red vermouth. And again, get your spoon, give that a nice long stir, really get that nice and chilled down. You could do this in a mixing glass separately if you wanted to. If you're making multiple quantities, do it in a mixing jug and then decant it out. But if you're just making for one, in the glass is nice and easy. If you're feeling particularly fancy, you could garnish this with a nice wedge of orange. Works very nicely with a Negroni. She's laughing at me. She's laughing in the corner. No, I'm not impressed with this. I was going to give this to her as she wasn't too keen on the Americano, but now I'm not going to. So, there we have the Negroni. So, lovely, lovely Negroni. It is better than the Americano, has to be said. One of those ones, the classic thing, the third sip is what gets you. The first sip is like, it's horrible. Even with if you drink them a lot of the time, like I do, the first sip still takes you by surprise. It's still incredibly bitter. Second sip, it starts mellowing on the palate. Third sip, beautiful, absolutely lovely and smooth. And it's fantastic. That is the Negroni. But we're not going to stop there. Oh, no. We have one more cocktail that I'm going to show you today, which is a Negroni variant. Now, there are loads of different Negroni variants out there. You can make them with mezcal, with tequila, there's some with rum, all different varieties. One of my favourite Negroni variations is a Boulevardier, which again is your sweet vermouth and your Campari, but then exchanging the gin for bourbon. Lovely, really, really nice cocktail. A bit richer, a bit warmer, but yeah, just as lovely. So we're going to make one of those next, which Sinead might get if she manages not to laugh throughout this segment. So, again, I'm going to make this in the glass because it's nice and easy. So in with a chunk of ice. On top of that, we're going for an ounce of the red vermouth. Don't put that one down. Oh, that's gotcha. An ounce of the Campari. And then we are going to have some bourbon. So let's grab that one. And again, equal quantity, so an ounce of bourbon going in there. Give that, again, a nice stir to get that nicely chilled down. Already I can smell the bourbon from here, and it's quite delightful. Very much looking forward to this one. So that is your Boulevardier on there. Lovely. It's a lot smoother than the classic Negroni. The bourbon manages to take off a bit of the hint of the bitterness in the background there, but it's still definitely a Negroni variant. Yeah, so we have 3 cocktails for you, 3 cocktails in one video. How marvellous is that? We started with the Americano, your classic original, moved on to the Negroni, and then finished with the Boulevardier. Now, I wouldn't recommend drinking them all in one go, because that could end horribly. I'm going to give it a go. But yes, thank you for joining us on this latest drinks from the cabinet. Yeah, we will see you again in our next episode. Sinead's coming in, and she's... I wonder what she's doing crawling along the floor. This is to steal booze. And there it is. So, cheers. We will see you next time. So that is the Americano, one of Count Negroni's favourite drinks. But on this particular occasion, say an evening in 1919, he was after something stronger. He had had a hell of a day being a count. He was a bit of a playboy, bit of a ne'er-do-well, and he needed something a bit stronger to get him through the evening. So the bartender there, a chap called, I've written it down, I can't read my own writing.
Do you want to start that segment again?
Yeah, I do.
Because I think I was fiddling with my trousers in the glass there, just like, get up there, you stupid shorts! It's very professional.
It's very
professional. Blame me.
Yes, it's all entirely
in
Sinead
my
and her
shorts. And here, okay, right, okay. Now they've cut off half my leg. Now this is just stupid. This isn't a look for a video I'm not in.
Your legs fall off halfway through. It's going to be distracting.
It is going to be distracting.
Yeah, indeed.
All right. And star wipe and...